Hello everyone, welcome to this new Talkie Pwnii video. I'm very glad to talk to you today because we are bringing back Dojo write-up, and this one will be a little bit special because this is one of our community challenge developed by ZeroDatGym. So firstly, thanks to him, and secondly, if you want to see your challenge into our monthly challenge, just feel free to develop a challenge and contact Brummels or myself. Today the challenge will mainly be code in Python, and let's go! So firstly, to have a global look of the challenge, this is a secret manager in which we have the possibility to upload the secrets, view secrets, and search some file into the vault. As usual, we're gonna firstly have a look to the settings part of the challenge. So we have multiple folders that have been created. We have template, uploads, and inside uploads we have internal secrets, vault, and extracted. So, into the upload internal secrets, we have the flag.txt file, which contains the value of the environment variable flag, and which is, as you can guess, the value we're gonna try to exfiltrate during this challenge. After, we have some other file, but it will not be really interesting to solve the challenge. So, as you can see, we have 4 different user inputs. We have action, file names, content, and grep. And as you can see in file names, at the end we have the split function that will literally split our arguments. So by this way, we're going to be able to create at the same time multiple file names. So here, for file names in file names, if the file name is starting with a slash, we will have an error. And if the file name contains double anti-slash or dots, we will have an error too. We're not gonna be possible to use that. If there is no error, the file name will be joined to the upload folder constant, which is tmp/upload, and the vault folder is tmp upload vault. And after that, we have a command saying backing up the change to vault. So we're gonna be directly into the upload folder path, and we have a system command that will be executed. We have a copy paste wildcard to vault folder. And that basically means that every file into upload folder will be copied and passed into the vault folder. And just after, what you can do, the to dev null means that std error, so every error will be redirected to dev null, so we're not gonna have any error in our outputs. After, we have the action definition. So we will be able to use 2 different actions. The first one is called view file, and as we can see, for file in file names, if our file name contains the string internal secrets, we will have an error, so we will not be possible to call our file name internal secrets. Just after, we have the second action, which is called search. So, as the command explained, this will search for secrets in file. So, we firstly have a if grep. Just to remind you, grep here is actually our search term inputs. If our user inputs secret term match the regex A to Z lowercase, A to Z uppercase, 0 to 9, and dot, our input will be directly placed into os.system just after a recursive grep. So, as you can guess, that's the really interesting part of this challenge, because having the possibility to inject something into a shell command could be very dangerous. So into the os.system, we have a recursive grep of our church term, and after that, we have a wildcard that will be literally replaced by every file name into the current folder in which we are, and just after, we have the parameter -- exclude with the directory internal secrets. So, as we know, into internal secrets, we have our flag.txt that we want to exfiltrate. Okay, so we have the possibility to create some file names. We just can't have a file name called internal secrets and containing some special character. And we can directly use our own short term that will be passed into a recursive grep. So what we can do with that? I'm gonna firstly introduce you what is a parameter injection. So here in the exam folder, I have nothing. I'm gonna use the command touch that will create an empty file. So I will use touch -- help. So what means -- in our case? Regarding the POSIX definition, the first -- argument that is not an option argument should be accepted as a delimiter indicating the end of option. So when I use touch dash 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 help, it means that the dash dash help after will not be considered as an option, so we'll directly be able to create a file that is called dash dash help. Now I have a file that is called dash dash help, but what happens if I do ls wildcard? As you can see, it will literally execute ls dash dash help, and I have the help result of ls. And that's literally a parameter injection, because in this case, wildcard will literally be replaced by every file name into the current folder, so it will be replaced by dash dash help. So ls wildcard will be replaced by ls dash dash help, and I have the help here, as you can see. So now that we know that, we can try to do some really interesting stuff. To explain you easily, I reproduce the exact same environment as the challenge. So for my context, the challenge run into an Alpine Docker, and as you can see here, we have a command saying that we just moved from GNU to BusyBox. Our developers are on it. So I have the same environment as the challenge. If I do retweet, you will see that I have the same structure. I am into vaults, and I have the internal secrets folder containing the flag.txt that we want to exfiltrate, and the user secrets that is the dummy file. And as we say into the grep command, we have the parameter dash dash exfiltrate with the directory in which we have the flag.txt file. So as you can guess, it will basically exclude the directory that it can be used into the grep version of this specific environment. So now that you know the concept of parameter injection, we're gonna try to make our own parameter injection to bypass the dash dash excluder and exfiltrate the flag.txt value. So what I can do, I will firstly create a file that is called dash -r, and after I will create a file that is called dash dash -r. What happens if I use the exact same grep as our example? So here is, I use the recursive grep, and for the short term, I just use dots, which will basically do the grep into the current folder. After, we have a wildcard that will be directly replaced by every file name into the current folder. And after, we have again our excluder. As you can see, the parameter injection worked well. So as explained you, the wildcard will be replaced by our file name that will be directly injected as a parameter. And it will bypass the excluder parameter at the end, and you will be able to do our recursive grep and obtain the flag. So now we're just gonna do it into the challenge. So to do it directly into the challenge, in the file names, as you can see, I'm not using only dash dash, but I'm using vault/dash dash. And that's only because Python needs the parent directory to exist just before creating a file inside it. And as you know, vault is the only subfolder that exists. For the contents, I'm just putting a dummy string because it's not really important in our case. And ta-da! We have the exact same behavior of parameter injection as we saw locally with the same context. Yeah, so letting the user have his own inputs reflected into a shell command is a very, very bad behavior that you should not do at all, especially in that kind of context, because it will be quickly vulnerable. So yeah, so just be careful with that. And I hope you enjoyed this challenge. As usual, if you have any kind of recommendation, feel free to comment. And yeah, if you want to see a specific Dojo write-up in video, you can just ask, and it will be a pleasure. So yeah, don't forget to press the button like and subscribe to our channel. See ya!